Alright guys, so this week's project, I'm working on this potato digger, root vegetable digger. So the drive sprocket for the chain, the way these work is they've got the shovel on the front that digs into the ground, and then that chain bed revolves and carries the potatoes or the beets or onions, whatever, to the back and sifts the dirt out and it shoots them out the back here. So it leaves the potatoes sitting on the surface of the dirt. This particular one is broken because my budget says digger, not good digger. So this sprocket right here, the shaft it attaches to is broken. So I've got to disassemble it, get that shaft out, take a bunch of measurements so I get everything back in the right spot, put a new shaft in it with the 4 sprockets on it in the right positioning. So to start, I've got to get the shaft out. Which means I've got to pull this carrier on each side. I think I've got to pull these 3 bolts to start. And these 3 on the opposite side. But I'll get working on that. I may set you up so you can watch. We'll see how easy it is. Okay. So I got the other side unbolted. I'm going to unbolt this one real quick so you don't have to watch. But once I get this one undone, I'll come back and we'll go from there. Okay, so I wasn't going to film taking these ones off, but I broke the first 2, so I'm going to film the 3rd one and see if I snap it off too. Yep, broke it off too. Cool. A lot of dirt in where there should be grease. So that whole thing should be full of grease, I think. Now I'm going to have to take a bunch of measurements, figure out, because I'm going to have to disassemble this whole thing. So So I'm going to take a bunch of measurements to make sure I can get all back together the same way, and then get a new shaft built and reassemble it. And that will, I don't know if that'll be this same video. Oh, yeah, it'll be later on in this video. But that's going to be a few days. So that's going to be it for today. Alright, so I think I figured out how I'm going to press it apart. I'm going to press the shaft one direction, get it through this top sprocket, and then I'll flip the whole works over, lift the table up, and press it the other direction to get it apart. I don't know how I'm getting it back together. Probably going to have to build a different table for the press, but alright, so that didn't work. I'm gonna have to make up my mind what I'm doing for a different table. This table is captured. It's got braces on both sides on the inside of the uprights, so I can't slide those big sprockets in from the end. I'm gonna have to basically build the same thing but not captured, so that I can slide it around the sprockets. I'll have to go dig through my scrap and see what I've got, because I don't really want to cut up new material. I do have a 20-foot piece of 4-inch, so I could. I just don't want to use it. But we will see. I'll let you know what I do.
So question, if you only have to fix the one end, do you need to press the whole thing apart, or can you leave that one end together?
Do we think I can weld that piece onto that piece straight?
Yes, I believe in you.
That's my word. So I won't get it straight. Okay, so everything was going good until I broke this hub. Apparently I didn't have it sitting on the plates very well. It ended up breaking these, so I've got to try and weld it back together. It's cast iron, so I'm not real excited about it, but I'll give it a preheat and we'll see what happens. Well, I got it welded back together. Looks terrible. But it hopefully will work. So I'm going to go throw it in the oven, 300 degrees for about an hour, and then drop it to 200 and then let it sit in the oven while the oven cools. You want to keep cast as warm as you can. I've always been told you want to keep cast as warm as you can, as long as you can, after welding it. Because of the way the molecules in the cast versus the molecules in the weld form, you want to keep it as warm as you can and let them relax at a slower pace rather than like quenching it. If I quenched this, it would crack. But if I throw it in the oven, let it cool off slowly, it should hopefully not crack. But go throw it in the oven while I work on putting the rest of the assembly together. This is the outside drive sprocket on what will be the left side of the machine. So it can be the last one that I put on. But I'll go work on putting the rest of the assembly together while this is sitting in the oven. So I'm working on putting all of the old sprockets on a new shaft. I decided it was easier and better to just buy a piece of 1 1/4 keyed shaft than it was to try and weld the old shaft back together. I think it'll turn out better. It'll be a better end product. So I'm working on assembling it. Sometimes it slides together, sometimes I have to press it together. So, we'll see. I'm not missing pieces, am I?
hard enough to take a picture of it before we disassembled it.
I mean, I've got a picture of it. I just feel like I'm way long. Here is where you need to do measurements. I assume that sprocket needs to line up with these sprockets, which mount off of four and 3/8 off of that plate, which is this surface of that plate. So it's got to come all the way down here. Alright, so I got the shaft all put together. It's got the drive sprockets for the digging chain, and then the transfer sprocket to go to the tailpiece. I got it all put together. I've got to get it put back in the digging chain, and then hung up and bolted to the body of the digger. Not real sure how I'm going to do that, but you get to watch. Alright guys, it is a new day. Still working on the potato digger. I found that I can't get that shaft into the chain without pulling a wheel off. No big deal. I'll just pull the lug nuts. Oh wait, those aren't lug nuts. Those are carriage bolts. And they have big square-headed nuts on the backside. I tried cutting them. With a grinder, cut the nuts off, and I cannot get them to drive through. So I'm going to get them heated up with the torch, and then I'll knock them through, hopefully knock them out. bearing is loose. I think it's not going on the road. Well, that's more than I wanted to do, but the wheel is off. So we're gonna have to pick it up. That plate needs to line up with these 3 holes. The bolt goes in from the inside. There's a bag right there full of bolts. If we can get 1 bolt on each side.
Are we gonna pick up the whole thing at once?
Both sides.
Okay. Does the plate go on the inside?
Outside.
Outside?
How do we get that bolt in from the inside when the chain is
In the way?
in the way of the bolt? It's almost a 3-person job.
Right. I was wondering if we could maybe lift it and set it on the step stool. And
We can try.
I assume we'll still have to support it while, to some degree, while it's on the step stool, but maybe.
It's too tall.
Let's try lifting just one side first.
Try sticking a bolt in from the outside. Show you what we're dealing with. There's 3 bolts on the outside of this plate. They're behind that sprocket. Like way down in there behind that sprocket. That hole, the bottom of those 2 holes. Somehow, I gotta fish my finger up in there with a 1/2 inch by 2 inch bolt and get it to poke out that hole. So. Oh, well, not losing a thing. I'm gonna grab a magnet. Ah. Cool. So we got all the bolts through. Now I'm going to tighten them, and then I got to figure out how to put the chain on to go from the gearbox to the drive. But I'm getting there. That was definitely not a one-person job. So thanks for the help. I would have lost a finger
Yeah, you would have.
or 2.
I mean, you probably could have mechanically rigged something to help you, but
That was definitely a 2-person job. Maybe 3. We did it with 2 though. Alright, so we got the potato digger all put together. I got the tractor. PTO shaft kind of works. It may fall apart, but it kind of works. Everything seems to move. Everything seems to function. So I'm going to try digging with it. We'll see how that goes. We'll set you up somewhere so you can watch.
Too much stuff.
Alright, the digger is working. It's doing its part. We'd definitely have better luck if I had done a better job about the weeds. It's coming up more as sod than, well, you can see what I'm plowing into. But we go through and break the sod up. And there are potatoes. Right there are potatoes. But it's a little more work than I was hoping for. We'll get there. Appear to be plugged up. Chuck. Oh, hey! Try this again. I don't think it's digging deep enough. I think it's just scraping the surface now.
Oh no, you'll have to make another pass.
What's that guy doing?
That's probably good. It's when I went to the tire shop and asked for free tires because I just need something that rolls. Or asked for cheap tires. She's like, well, what's it for? I'm like, well, a 1930s potato digger. She's like, really? Why? I'm like, I don't know, because I'm dumb.
YouTube?
She's like, well, I can't give these to you if you say they're going on the road. I'm like, well, the front wheel is cast iron, so definitely not going high speeds.
That might be cheap.
Hey, potatoes! I feel like this pass was better. I actually saw potatoes coming off the digger this time.
No.
Well, we got the potatoes dug. We didn't get nearly as many as I'd hoped, but we did. We got 15 pounds maybe. I think we planted 5 and got 15, so that's profit, right? Huge crack right through his foot. But potato digger worked, and the tractor worked. I only had to put a starter in it this morning to use it. So it's never ending fixing things. As my brother-in-law says, 90% of farming is fixing stuff. So I guess I'm farming, right? But I hope you liked it. If you did, like and subscribe. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one.